before I get to the big news, I want to take a minute. And I want to talk about ice cream. Ice cream is great. Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts. Personally, I love chocolate, and I love cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is actually my all-time favorite dessert. But I understand that for some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla.
What's going on, everybody? It's Haas coming at you with another video. This video is going to be a little bit more discussion based. We're going to talk a little bit about vanilla. We're probably going to bring up some blue posts that I found, some new news that's come up in the vanilla community. Of course, nothing is really news at this moment. It's so early to actually know what's going on, what the dev team is really planning, or even who the dev team is. We're only seeing now people getting hired on, and that's what we're really going to need to focus on over the next couple of weeks, going into months, as the development starts on vanilla World of Warcraft. I know for me personally, I'm going to kind of keep a close eye on their Twitters and see exactly what's coming out, see if any information is being given to the public. Right now, we really don't have a lot. We only have a few real candid interviews with, say, Lore and a few other people that have kind of said some offhanded stuff, and then we also have a couple blue posts. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So the first question that comes up is Blizzard going to change anything? I know that my friend of mine actually spoke to me about it. I was talking to him about vanilla, and he said, well, are they going to balance classes? Because I'd really like to play a prop paladin. For me, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I personally love the prop paladins back in BC. That is my jam. That is where I started tanking. However, that's not what's going to happen here. They are looking for a pure vanilla experience. What that means, essentially, is that they're not going to alter anything. I think the only thing that they're actually going to do is fix obvious bug fixes. Make sure that everyone's able to log on and hit the gong for AQ, that kind of stuff. More server stability and gameplay ability, making sure that Cthulhu isn't bugged. Things like that, but they're not going to add in things like AoE looting or quality of life changes or even class balances. My argument to the class balances is if you do one thing to the classes in PvE, that directly affects the PvP game, and the PvP game in vanilla is a really great experience back then. The thing is, it's so volatile. If you change one thing on one person to make them viable for PvE, that makes them probably absolutely crazy in PvP. So you really got to make sure that you're not going over the balance. And back then in vanilla, hybrid classes were basically not good DPS, but you know, not necessarily a jack of all trades, more of a master of none kind of thing. They did everything. They brought some raid support. They brought some DPS. They brought some healing. And some of them even did some slight tanking. But generally, they're healers because they can't really perform. So you only need one or two of these support classes. Once you have that, the rest of the hybrids are all healers. The pure DPS people, like the rogues, the mages, the hunters, they all usually stay as DPS. The only exception, obviously, is the warrior. And then the only tank in vanilla is, of course, again, the warrior. So the warrior is that one unicorn class that can, you know, DPS and tank, and is perfectly viable to do either or. However, it does absolutely suck leveling a warrior. I can tell you that from experience. Another thing that people can ask me sometimes is, are they planning to extend past Classic? Like, are they going to do a progression server? I've said this many times to a friend of mine, and really we don't know. Again, that's another one of those questions that is still really early on in the development stage. I can only imagine that this is going to become a branch of the flagship as World of Warcraft starts descending down subscriber numbers, because I'm sure it is, and it has been for countless years. But I believe vanilla is going to give a unprecedented jump. And a lot of people tell me that, oh, well, vanilla's really hard, vanilla's, hard to level, and people will quit within the first couple of weeks. Yeah, they might. But the people that really enjoy it are going to have such a great love for the game, and there's going to be huge communities around that. So that's really what's going to keep the game driven, and I think the subscriber numbers are probably going to reach that of a expansion release, at least for the first couple of months. Maybe not, maybe that's a little lofty, couple of months, but I believe the playable numbers are going to at least rival the live numbers at that time, because my prediction is, well, we'll talk about my prediction in a second. Anyway, so are they going to move past it? So I believe what they should do is kind of do a rotational server type deal. So I would say have 10 servers, all based on vanilla, or 5 servers, depending on how many people we actually have playing. Maybe less is more. Let's say 3 servers of vanilla that comes out when Classic is launched. I feel that 3 is a good number. I'm sure if there's too many players, they'll increase the number. So we have 3 servers. Those servers go through a natural progression of patches all the way up until Naxxramas. Once Naxxramas comes out, it just leaves for a couple of months of kind of a loot area for everyone to kind of catch up and finish Naxxramas, and then the Burning Crusade is released right after that. Now again, this is only speculation, just speculation. This is not what Blizzard's saying. This is what I would like to see. Once the Burning Crusade expansion actually launches, then another 3 servers relaunch as a baseline vanilla. So now we have 6 servers. So we have 3 BC, 3 vanilla. Then the BC servers go into the Wrath of the Lich King after their Black Temple and Sunwell transitions, and Wrath of the Lich King comes out. So the first 3 servers are now on Wrath of the Lich King. The new 3 servers transition over and switch over to Burning Crusade, and then 3 more servers populate, all with vanilla. This goes until the logical next step is we stop before Cataclysm, please, for the love of God. I wouldn't mind if you go past it, but whatever, just do that. I believe once the expansions get to the point where you're catching up to the normal expansion, you can kind of, or catching up to the end expansion, wherever we decide to end this whole legacy train, which personally should be at Wrath of the Lich King, then you should be able to transfer your characters onto some sort of legacy server. And I almost see them building almost like a Diablo-esque ladder board over this, where people can go back in, big guilds, maybe Premonition or whatever, go back in guilds and really try to get server firsts and everything on these new ladders, and that being posted on the website, and it turns into this big PvE/PvP thing where everyone's just trying to focus on, beating the other person to that stat. So it just turns into big leaderboards, and every time the servers reach the end point, so let's say for this example, after Wrath of the Lich King, and then all the characters on the Wrath of the Lich King servers turn into legacy mode, and let's say that is the end of the season. Once the season ends, then everyone goes back onto a fresh vanilla server. So the new vanilla servers that would be coming out, the 3 servers that are on Wrath of the Lich King are now turned into the vanilla servers, and then the new season begins. So at any time you could play at any 3 of these servers, or any, I guess 9 of these servers, since there are 3 of each expansion. But the only 3 that are on a actual ladder are the ones that are going through, or even just have each one of them be the own ladder of that own expansion, so you have 3 ladders going at any given moment. Either one would be fine. Another question that people come to me with is, when is vanilla going to be released? So when are we going to see WoW Classic? The reality of this is not anytime soon. They currently have a build in mind that they want to use. They don't know exactly where they're going to go with this, what they're going to change, what bug fixes they're going to have, what server capabilities that they're going to need, how many players that they're going to need to deal with. They learned a lot from having things like AQ go on way back in the day. And I think, and I really hope that they're consulting with teams like Astralis, because they've been through the most recent launches of AQ. Of course, Astralis is now gone and dissolved. There are a few servers that have popped up in the place, but in my respect for Blizzard, I'm not going to mention the names of those servers. But you know, AQ will be a difficult event for Blizzard to kind of wrap their minds around. Now, it is important to recognize that hardware has increased dramatically back from 2004 to 2006 days. So really, we can probably guess that we're not going to have too bad of a time accommodating for the extra server capabilities that we're going to need to find. But I would say that most likely we are going to see a release date after sometime about either a year and a half after we see the release of Battle of Azeroth. So Battle of Azeroth will most likely come out in August of 2018, and we will most likely see the release of vanilla sometime in Christmas of 2019, or sorry, 2018/19, or late fall of 2019 before the new year to 2020. So that's most likely when we're going to see it. Why do I think that way? Because even if it is done sooner than Battle of Azeroth, there is no way that one, Blizzard is going to sacrifice releasing their expansion late, or two, Blizzard is going to sacrifice releasing something at the exact same time of their expansion. So even if it is done, most likely we won't be seeing it until either half a year or till a full year after Battle of Azeroth. So that's my prediction of that. If you guys have any questions or found anything interesting, go ahead and post it in the comments below. That's all that I have for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and try to make a bigger series of classic videos so you guys kind of know more information as it goes. We'll call it kind of Classic Watch. We'll make it like a news show, you know, like some news shit. So that's about it. That's all I got. You guys are awesome. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you're watching out for the next Classic videos. And I will see you guys in WoW Classic. Hell yeah.